inevitably gonna always forget. So we start with the recording, and then we're pretty loose with who goes when. Usually I ask anyone that's at work that needs to jump on and jump off to go ahead and share first. We try to start with something positive that's occurred in the week that we all can celebrate with you. And then any questions, I try to keep the questions to 1 or 2 questions just so everyone has time to ask a question if they have one, okay? So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. And whoever needs to go first or would like to go first, jump in there.
Can I jump in real quick since it's my last time?
Cameron's graduating, you all. That doesn't mean she's...
goodness.
Yes. It doesn't mean she's disappearing. It just means that she literally, can I just share? In her chats, she'll say, hey, Leslie, I've got this going on. I'm pretty sure that I need to do X, Y, and Z. What are your thoughts? And I'm like, exactly. That's exactly. So she's literally learned her body, so she knows how to treat it now. So congrats on that. We still have work to do, and we're going to continue that journey. It just will look a little differently. So
sounds good.
How are you?
I'm good. I should hear, Jackson and I purchased a house, and we should hear about the results on Friday. Right now it's contingent on the sellers finding the house of their choice within 15 days. Their 15 days is up on Friday. We'll see. If they don't find a house, we might go back to the drawing board and keep looking, because we're not such a fan of the area. I mean, it's not a bad area, but you know, it's not my ideal top pick, but houses are like insane right now. So that's really good. But there's a new potential of layoffs at work. So I think I'm going to be okay. But I don't know. They said that in the next coming months, people will be laid off. And it'll be market dependent. So I think my role will be okay, but obviously a lot of people think that, and that's not the case. So we're trying to be smart about that. And other than that, I'm still kind of struggling with the whole constipation thing, but it seems to be getting slightly better when I drink the tea and do the lemon water. It's still not where it should be, but I'm also not exercising because of all the wedding planning. So.
Right. And you got my chat about you are where you are right in this very moment in time. And so just.
And it's all exciting and it's all good. And as long as I'm meditating and breathing and all that stuff, then it's just going to be where it is.
Yes.
So.
And just be as active as you possibly can, you know, but I think when you are in those moments of like, it's a balance of stillness and also working in exercise, but just making sure that you're allotting as much time for stillness, presence, and meditation as you are for exercise. Because I think that when you're in the midst of planning a wedding, you have like a million things on your list always that doesn't go away. The other thing that I wish that someone would have told me this when I was planning my wedding, the little stuff, only you and Jackson will notice and no one else will. So do not get caught up in the planning of all the minor details of just let some of it go, and also allow other people to make decisions for you. So then that way, game day, it's like,
and that's we met with the guy who's letting us like have it at the reception. He's like kind of been wedding planning his whole career, and he just like helped us put everything together. He put the agenda together. He was like, here are the next couple things you need to figure out, and I was like, oh my gosh, that makes everything so much easier. But I think planning such a short engagement it forces you to not care as much about the little stuff, which I kind of like.
True. It's
like, is the big stuff taken care of? Okay, cool, we're good to go.
Because that's really all that everyone will see. And so I remember when my younger sister was planning her wedding and like the details of the envelopes and all of that. I'm like, nobody notices that. Just send it out, save your money there, literally try
so that's
not
kind of
to.
What we're doing. We're like, trying to do all that, but just a little bit of anxiety with the whole work thing. I don't know if there'll be more than one wave or if there will just be one. There were 30 layoffs last week. I was on furlough last week. We have a meeting with my boss's boss at 1:00 today. So I don't know if that'll just be an updated schedule or if that'll be like, hey, our department's not getting hit or it is getting hit. I don't know. But other than that, everything seems to be good. Oh, and I took my migraine medicine down to 25 and I have been okay.
Yay!
So I haven't had a migraine yet, which, I'm going to take that as a win.
That's a huge win. So, yeah, that's a huge win. So much progress. So what I would say is make sure that you're making time for bowel movements in the morning. Try not to be rushed about it. Keep doing your lemon water lukewarm, like room temperature. Yep. And then the tea in the evening. Try to keep doing your I love you massage. I don't want to put too many restrictions on your diet because I know that you're doing a good job with that. The only other thing is that you can start to monitor FODMAPs and see if that influences the constipation symptoms. But again, that starts to get so picky and detailed, and I don't think that you need that level of stress right now. So
I think that might be something to look at after I try reintroducing the grapefruit seed. I'm going to order a round of supplements today.
Oh, good.
So, and I'm going to try to do like an active phase. So I'll do the grapefruit seed and all that stuff, and we'll see if that helps.
Okay, that's perfect.
If that doesn't help, then maybe I'll reach out to you about like,
the
hey, what's going on? Please help me.
Yeah, but I think that honestly, it's kind of your tendencies are toward constipation, and then without exercising as much as possible, you're not getting that constant, to help you, because you're eating the right things. You're eating plenty of fiber and all of that. You're taking the OptiFiber Lean. So you're doing the right stuff. Let's add back in the grapefruit seed extract and go through the
active
that
on my list for active phase. So I'm just going to follow that when I order supplements, and then let's go from there.
Sounds great.
But I thought I'd pop in and say hi and say goodbye to everybody before, you take me out of here.
You. No, we're going to see you in the Facebook group though. You're not going anywhere. You'll have to do an occasional live video for us. Hi.
That's fine. I can do that.
Hi, everyone. We should do like an occasional happy hour, mocktail hour, whatever phase you're on a monthly basis, and just.
I'm totally down. That would be fun. I'd be all in for that.
We'll have to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will miss you on this call.
Yes. I don't know if Tana's on. I'm on my phone, so I can't really see.
She's not yet.
Okay.
I haven't heard.
I'll tell her that even though our stories are similar, that there's hope and she's going to be all right.
She's going to be all right. Yes, exactly. All right, Cameron, you take care. And
thanks.
I'm going to say a little prayer about your job and hope that, just continue to have faith that everything happens for a reason. And even in the event that something were to happen, you may not be able to see the silver lining in it immediately, but there is always
there's always one.
There's always a reason.
So it'll be okay.
Yeah. So anyhow.
Thanks,
Sue. All right, my dear.
All right. Bye.
See ya. All right. Who's up next?
I can go.
Go for it, Randy. How's it going?
Good.
Awesome.
I backed off on the working out a little bit because I didn't work out Saturday and Sunday. Yesterday, I just did the yoga. And I was a lot more active yesterday because I had to take my truck in to get fixed. I had to do a bunch of other stuff. And so I was doing a lot of walking with my walking poles and stuff, and I felt a lot better. Well, this morning I was kind of not doing as much, and I still, like today, my legs got the same thing I had on Friday and Thursday and Friday. And yesterday I was up and about. Yeah, I get tired, but.
So wait, let's back up. So Thursday and Friday of last week, you did do more exercise and your legs felt more fatigued?
Well, I was up and about. I exercised and I was doing things outside, and then I would have to sit down more. But it seems like yesterday it was a lot better, but today it's back where it was. But today I haven't moved around as much. And I've been eating good. I mean, I don't cheat on stuff. I eat pretty much what I'm supposed to. You know, so I don't eat junk foods or anything like that. Every once in a while I'll have a chip or something. Like I went to a graduation party and had a couple chips, but that was about it. And
were they gluten-free?
No.
No.
So and speaking of that, now can you eat Ezekiel bread, which is no? Okay. What kind of breads can you eat then, or none?
I am not a huge fan unless you're making it yourself. I hate to say that out loud, but even Ezekiel bread is filled with garbage. So most of the gluten-free options that are out there, they usually pump them full of sugar to compensate for the lack of gluten and other additives that are just as harmful and processed as gluten. So there are some great bread recipes. Like if you can control your ingredients going in, I know that there are some really good recipes out there. Now, I am not a baker, and maybe other people that are on here can share their experience. I don't bake, so therefore I just eliminate my sandwiches look like, if I'm eating a burger, it's going to be on a lettuce wrap rather than a bun. So I don't use a lot of other
and that's what I do, because when I make burgers, I just cook them with onions and stuff like that, and just put onions on them and things like that with no bread. I don't care about the bread. I haven't eaten bread for so long, I don't even miss it. So it's not a big deal. I was just asking. I never was a big bread person anyway. So, and then you really got to watch the sugars, right?
Yes.
Because I had one, the other day, I had one of those, it's clam iron or whatever, seltzer waters with alcohol in it. And those are gluten-free in that. I just had one because my kid was drinking them. And I'm like, let me try one of those. And I just had one, and it's only got 2 grams of sugar for the can. And that's what I noticed. But I was like, well, I should be okay because I'm not eating any other type of sugar of any sort other than what is in the foods or the fruits. And fruits, I only eat the blues and the red, strawberries, raspberries, and then that kind. So I'm doing pretty good. As far as the diet, there's nothing I don't think I need to change, because I don't eat sweets.
No, I agree. I think that what you need to focus on is your progress, and you've got to be patient with the process as well. And I know patience is like the hardest thing to have when you're struggling, right? But mentally, you're not doing yourself any favor if you're only focused on. So I want you to really stay focused on the good, the positive, the improvements that you've seen so far, and like less cramping, improved sleep, improved vision. Those are huge changes in just a 2-month period.
Yeah, and the cramping has been phenomenal. It's pretty much gone.
Right.
So that's the only thing I get at night is my feet get real tingly. It's super tingly. If I'm laying down, they'll just like almost fall asleep, and then I get that where they get that discoloring in them in my feet. So that I get. So as far as the sleeping, and I sleep better. I would wake up every once in a while at night, but it's not like what I used to, where I'd fall asleep for an hour, hour and a half, and then I'd wake up for 2 hours, and I'd fall asleep for another hour and a half and wake up. So I'd only get like maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep, maybe. And now I'm
Right.
sleeping. I may wake up one time and that's it.
Gotcha. That's fantastic. I'm trying to see. I know I've been seeing some of your journal entries, Randy. Let me
I didn't
look.
put them in there. I just been writing them down.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Do you mind, like, where you write them down? So whatever's easiest for you. What I'd like to see is, again, you write activity versus, and then not just had an episode of fatigue and heaviness and legs, but the severity of it, like rate that 0 to 10.
Okay.
And then, and you can just write it on a piece of paper, and at the end of the week, if you'll take a picture of that, that's what I want to see. I want to start to watch patterns over the course of the week. Right now, we've only been tracking it for a week, so we don't know any patterns. We don't know, are we progressing, are we not? And when you're dealing with cases of fatigue like this, it's really important to track patterns, because it's hard. It's like watching a kid grow, when you live with them, you're not going to see, it's like, but somebody else that hasn't seen them in 3 months is like, whoa, you really have shot up, but living with them day to day, you may not notice those changes. So that's why I want to see the pattern. So just on a piece of paper is fine. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, put what exercise you do, put how many episodes, you can just mark them off, episode, how long the episode lasted, and then the intensity of it. And it's okay if you said, like, I was busy, I had to push through, so I experienced more fatigue, but still we'll be able to see, okay, then what happened the next day. But it's hard for me, like, I can't track it this way.
Okay.
Just verbally, I need to see something in writing that I can keep track of,
And
that we can flip back.
How do I send it? What do I send it on?
You just take a picture. So you use your phone for these calls.
Yeah.
So just on your Healthy app, just access your Healthy on your phone, take a picture of it, and that comes over into, you can put it into the chat for me to see, or it can go into your journal. It doesn't matter. Either one is fine.
So you just go into the Healthy app.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just got a new phone, and a lot of my stuff is still loading because I got my phone kind of wet on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of took a drink in the lake.
Oh.
But
yeah,
it won't load up yet because they're still going. So
okay.
So I'll do that, and if I can't get it, then so you just go in the Healthy app, and then it's under.
Just like you're leaving me a chat, you can just put picture, even if you took the picture with your phone, then you can go into the chat, and there's like you can do an attachment, you can do a picture, and you just pull it right from your phone and upload it into the chat, and I'll be able to see it.
And this is in the video chat, correct?
No, it's in just like where it says chat, where you can like leave me a message.
Yeah, see on my phone,
it's not
it
in
don't
the
have
appointment.
that.
Yeah, it does. It has it.
I got mine open right now. It says, if I got the home open, it says home, video chat, documents, metrics, program settings, support, and log out.
At the very bottom, you're going to see, I don't know if you can see mine at the very bottom. So at the very bottom, it says messages. It says
mine says home, chat, goals, sessions, and notifications.
Chat.
Okay, so do it on chat. Okay.
Yeah. And then when you click on chat, then it's going to have it'll have a place where you can just upload a picture. So you just take a picture with your phone. But that'll be the easiest way. That way I can start to see patterns. Okay. But right now, I feel like you're in the process of healing. Okay. And clearly you are making good progress. And again, the nerves are the last things to heal. They take a little bit longer. The further the demyelination is away from the central nervous system, the longer it's going to take. So that's the other portion of this. So, nerve conduction, it will heal. It does heal. It's just slow. It's a slower process. Okay.
Yeah, and then on a good note, when you're talking about stuff happens for a reason, I hadn't gotten paid for such a long time. I started applying for assistance, and I opened up the thing yesterday for energy assistance, and I got like $716 for my electric and
Good.
gas bill. So I was like, well, that was good. And then I got, for the month of July, $411 for food share. So I was like, well, that's good. So now I'm just waiting. I applied for mortgage assistance, so they give up to $3,000 a year. And I'm like, okay, well, that'll help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is crazy times for everyone, you know, and we've got to do what we have to do. So
well,
I'm proud of you though for prioritizing your health and making it a priority, and then not giving up on the other things, seeking out the help that you need. So.
Well, yeah, because it sucks. I've been sitting since March not working.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
It is a long time.
I've never done that before.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll try to figure this out, and then I'll send it. If I can't, I can do it in the journal stuff that's on here.
Very easy.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, sounds good.
Just like people take pictures of their meals that they're eating, and that comes across on my end. You can do that as well of the paper.
All right, sounds
but
good.
I've been seeing everything else though. I've been seeing your steps, your walking, your exercise. I've been seeing that come across. And you did enter a fatigue at one point. I did see one, but
yeah, and I'll have to go back and look and see where I did that, because I've done so much stuff on here I don't remember what I did or didn't do. So
all right, Randy, we're gonna move on. You take care. Have a good week.
You too. All right, sounds good.
All right, who's up next? Welcome, Sarah. I just want to welcome Sarah. She just got done with her Beachbody workout, I bet, because her face is still red. Welcome to your first call. So what we usually do in these calls, Sarah, is that we'll start out with a celebration, anything that you want to celebrate for the week, and then you can just watch and observe today. We usually try to limit our questions to 1 or 2, just so everybody has time to share and they don't drag out forever long. So anyhow, and then usually it's all random. I just allow people to share as it works for them. So let's go ahead, and whoever's next, you can unmute your line and go for it.
I can jump in because I'm quick.
Good. Go for it.
Probably. So still on vacation, yay. But the biggest thing probably for me is getting my test sent off. Yay!
That's a huge victory right there.
I know.
Estelle sitting here like she knows.
She's cracking up. I know. I remember all the call last week. I was like, oh God, this is going to be painful.
Unfortunately, that was just the beginning for Estelle.
Oh no!
It drug out the whole week. It was. It was.
Yeah, I've been watching them. I've been watching the tracker. So they made it to Tampa, then Orlando, then Cincinnati, and they took off from Cincinnati about an hour ago. So
good, nice.
So they're supposed to get in tomorrow. Yay!
Wonderful. Great job on that.
That was it. That's all I got.
Okay. And you're just resting and relaxing and gearing up for your full elimination to begin when you return.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. All right, my dear. Well, you take care. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you.
All right. And who is up next?
I can go.
Go for it. Hi, Heidi. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. I am feeling a lot better. I've been 10 days now. Today is day 11 of the elimination, and I must have been eating something that made me feel terrible because I am feeling way better.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's really great. And I'm sleeping better, which is awesome. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my positive, and I finished my labs this morning, and they go this afternoon. So
yay, that's another exciting. Positive.
Yeah, those are challenging. I couldn't believe the detail and the instructions, and was pretty intense.
The stool test in particular,
Yeah.
getting the lids on the right vials, and
Yeah.
yes, making sure that they're
Yes.
sealed. And I know I have another person that she was like, she is having her daughter tested, and she's arranging for DHL this morning, and she sent me a message. She was like, did I fail to mention I get major anxiety around stool collections and making sure that labs get shipped off appropriately? It's like, I'm sorry, honey. It's the nature of the beast. It's just one of those things. But congrats on having that behind you.
Yeah, thanks. That feels good. And I did go ahead after my last lab today. This morning I started the supplements too. So
wonderful.
I have all 12 of them lined up with my chart I made on Excel so I can tell what I'm supposed to take when. So that's awesome. So far so good on that. And I did have a question about soy. Mm-hmm. So I've heard soy can mess with your hormones sometimes, and it's recommended in some books and not others, and some diets and not others. It's on the Reset diet as tofu and edamame, obviously organic, are okay. What is your take on soy for me?
We will know significantly more once we have hormone test back. Okay. For people that are estrogen dominant, soy, any type of soy, is estrogen mimicking, meaning it looks just like estrogen. It can set in estrogen receptors. In the event that you're estrogen dominant, that's a bad thing, because now the metabolites of estrogen are highly volatile and they create oxidative stress. And so you don't want mimicking structures going and sitting in the receptors, and then all of a sudden these other estrogen metabolites are like, where do I go? What do I do? In other cases of people that have low estrogen, then those phytoestrogens are absolutely essential for estrogen mimicking properties. So that's where you can't necessarily go with a positive, oh, everybody, they're beneficial. But what I would say is, given your age, I mean, you can certainly, unless you feel like you are just extremely estrogen dominant, you can certainly bring in edamame and some organic tofu and just watch your symptoms. Watch how it makes you feel after you've eaten them, especially if you haven't had them in your diet for a little bit and you're just trying to pull in other plant-based protein sources. Just watch how it makes you feel.
Okay, how would I know if I'm estrogen dominant before I get the test back? You said if I lean that way, how would I know?
So people that are estrogen dominant will be extremely moody.
Okay.
I'm pretty much going to describe all of us women. Because the symptoms can be so similar even when you're low. But anyhow, typically when people that are estrogen dominant, they have the most beautiful, thick, luscious hair. Their nails grow extremely fast and long, and they're thick. They have, the skin can tend toward oiliness. But mood swings are a biggie, like rage almost. Okay. Yeah. So whereas if your menstrual cycles are a little spotty, not really heavy, libido is low, then most likely you're more on the estrogen, lacking estrogen side of things. Okay. And then it would be perfectly fine to bring in those organic sources.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that was my only question.
All right, that's a great question. And Thank you. Pretty much all of my answers are going to be, it depends. Until we know exactly what we're dealing with on your labs. I might have I might have a screening tool for it. Let me see if I can dig up to see if I have a screening tool where you could just answer questions, like a questionnaire, and it will kind of point you based on the symptoms that you experience, which direction you would be.
Okay, it would be nice to work soy in if it's reasonable to do so, because I feel like I'm quite limited on what I can eat. So, but yeah, we'll wait and see, I guess.
Okay, so let me see if I can find an estrogen screening tool for you. It might be xenoestrogens, which, I mean, obviously are bad for everyone, and detox pathway, but let me see what I can come up with, Heidi, and I'll get back with you on chat.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who's up next? Anybody at work that needs to jump on, jump off? Or any other reason that you got to jump on, jump off?
I can go if nobody else wants to jump in. Oh, go ahead, Katrin, go.
That's okay, you go ahead.
No, go. I want you to go first. I'm gonna go.
She muted herself. Katrin, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Good.
You're back to work.
Back to work yesterday, but I'm off today, but I'm not home. So I'm my mom. I got the flare-ups very bad lately.
Oh, when?
Saturday night, Sunday. Saturday night, midnight, I wake up with huge pain. It was always like that, my flare-ups. Always start in middle of the night. It wakes me up from, the pain. And it was my good arm that now I'm covering right now. Yeah, it was in this part, the soft part, muscle. It wasn't joint. It was like so much pain that I almost, like, in the middle of the night, I was like crying. Like, I didn't know what to do.
Were you sleeping on that side? Do you tend to sleep on that side because that's your good side?
It could be, but I don't realize, when you sleep, you don't know.
Right. Yeah. So how do you usually, what position do you usually sleep in at night? What is your normal, like?
On the back most of the time, all face down. I am very comfortable face down.
On your belly.
Then on my back, but on this shoulder, on this side, I can't, of course. It hurts, but this side I do sometimes on the side. So it doesn't matter. I do anyway. And when you sleep, you don't know how you turn. But mornings when I wake up, I'm usually on my back. So.
Okay. All right. So left arm you experienced, and it's more of a muscular pain and not in the joint itself.
Yeah. And all I know, the Saturday, that day, we went picnic outside, and it was a little warm, and I was like constantly getting sweaty, like, because you move, you're outside. It was fun, nice, good time. And then maybe I'm thinking when I sit in the car, the air conditioner was like hitting to my arm. Is it possible that you sweaty and then the air conditioner cold hit to your muscle will get sore or flare up?
Not really. What about, I'm not saying that can't be a contributor, but that's certainly not a root cause. Tell me, what did you eat at the picnic?
I took my meat, like chicken tenderloins, organic, of course. And I ate that. My husband grilled just for me that. And then what else? What vegetables I ate? Brussels sprouts. Of course, I made my own vegetables. Took from home and he grilled it for me.
Okay.
I didn't eat nothing bad. No,
Okay.
no. And
Okay,
all
so
I
it's not-
drink club soda and water.
Okay.
And I ate the watermelon. That's all, and cherries.
When was your last treatment with
Like physical therapy or well,
Not
I
physical,
do the
but-
treatment on this side. I don't do this side.
Okay.
That was for me my good arm, you know, like no one let me in my family if we go grocery shop, or no one let me take anything because they know I have only one arm. So I don't want to jeopardize to hurt that one. The only thing what I'm thinking, is it possible that I stopped the methotrexate for 2 months now? It could be that, because before, when I was taking methotrexate, when my disease started, I was having all those flare-ups, and I didn't know why I'm getting them, and it was taking like 24 hours, and then I was getting better. That exact same pain was that night started while my disease just started, and I wasn't taking any medication. So I'm thinking that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it can certainly. So we just added back in. I just made some changes to your supplements, correct? So remind me, what changes did I make? I increased. We went back on something for your gut dysbiosis. I said, let's do an active phase, since you were on immunosuppressants prior to, right? But you were always taking the candicidal. You've been taking that the whole time except for the stem cells. And then I also, did I put you back on what, GI Microbe X?
No, a Biocidin. But I didn't take yet, because I ordered that full script that when you changed it, you told me last week. So I ordered right that Tuesday, and I got it yesterday. I opened the box. It was something else, but it was my name. Yeah, it was.
Did you call them?
Something? Yes, I called this morning. I say, hey, I got this, and that was in the box was different person name. So I told this belongs to this person. They're like, oh yeah.
I was like, that wasn't a mistake on my end, was it? But okay, good.
Yeah. So they're sending me my Biocidin. He said that they did send it today. I'm gonna get it soon. So, and then he told me to ask you if you need that.
I'm sorry, hang on just 1 second. My daughter is starting an art camp right now, a virtual art camp. It's right by the kitchen table, on the other side on that chair. Okay, sorry about that, Katrin. You have my full attention again.
Yeah, so he told me that I have to ask you if you need me give you that whatever they send it, but it's something little. It calls MK. It's for headache.
I don't use
earache, noseache. That's what it says. It's homeopathic, little pills.
I have no idea, but no, I don't. That's not something that I normally would use. But anyhow, well, okay, so it can be, right? It can still be, and that's what I was suspicious of, and that's why you still keep having lingering flares, okay? We finally have you off of medication. Wow, that's like, that was a process. So you've done the work, but you were doing the work previously on a compromised immune system. So now what I was wanting to do is, let's do another active die-off phase that your immune system is actually active and helping to fight whereas before it was completely suppressed. And so hopefully we can wipe out the dysbiosis for good this round. Okay, so hang in there, do your pain mitigation. As soon as you get the Biocidin, I want you to do, just if you can, just jump right in at 15 drops twice a day.
Yeah, I
jump
can.
right in. Okay. And then let's see what happens with these sporadic kind of flare-ups that you're experiencing. Make sure though that you're doing all the other work. So make sure that you're exercising on a regular basis and getting your heart rate up and keeping it up for a long period of time with aerobic exercise. So balancing aerobic with your strength training. Make sure that you're, really dedicating time to that, but also your stress management. Make sure that you're doing your meditations, your daily meditations, and really watching your mindset, okay? Try not to worry about things. And then your pain mitigation. Those are the other, just your soaks in your tub while we get you through this period of time, okay? Now, are they able to do the therapy on both sides? Is there a reason? Or is
no, it's I asked and they say it's only one part we can do. They can't do both
because of time
or my feet. It's if I finish that, they say after when finished, which is I really don't see much. It's been 7 weeks, so I don't see much
improvement
difference.
With your shoulder.
Improvements, yeah. So my nephew, I have here, my husband's nephew, he's a physical therapist. He's coming to my house now. It's been
awesome.
2 times. He's been working on my arm. It's more, I see more improvement than that the Synexus that I had.
Do that then. Listen to your gut, your intuition. So focus your attention on that. Ask him to start ranging your left shoulder as well. When he comes, it's really, ask him to start.
Actually, it's better now. I mean, it only was Saturday night, Sunday, and yesterday and today I am okay. I'm just trying to cover because air conditioner is just hitting my arm.
Oh, gotcha.
Here.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but it's much better. So that was just regular flare up.
Okay, but it still won't. It still won't hurt, Katrin, if he gives you a little approximation in that joint, just some traction to that arm with some light oscillations. It would just help to loosen up the capsule, and so that way you're not getting any increased pressure within that joint. So it's essentially stretching the capsule that holds that ball and socket in the shoulder, which may help to alleviate. But anyhow, so let's try to focus on the gut, get the Biocidin, jump back in at 15 times, take methotrexate out of your brain. Take it out of your brain.
That was in my brain.
I know what's in your brain. Take that out of your brain. Just remove that. That's not enough. I know. We've been doing this long enough. I know exactly what you're thinking. So you're going to take that out of your brain, and then in the event that you're miserable in the middle of the night, you are going to take, it's going to be okay. You're going to take an ibuprofen.
I did. I was afraid to tell you. I'm like, she's going to kill me. I told my husband,
I'm not going to kill
her.
you. That should be our go-to over methotrexate, which is significantly more damaging to the body. So absolutely do not worry about telling me that. You have to, sleep is important. So in the event that that happens, that's what should be planted in your brain. And you can couple that with your Carcuplex 95. You can take 2 of those.
I do.
And that's going to be your choice, okay? So we're just going to remove that out of the brain, and then Yeah,
Yeah.
so Estelle just put that she uses Curafin. Tell us about that. Oh yeah, those are good. Boswellian.
Yeah, it's a little expensive, but it lasts a long time because I don't take it very often. So it's just a natural pill that is full of mostly boswellia and turmeric. And when I was having RA flares, it took the edge off from them. Every once in a while, very rarely though, I'd have to go to the ibuprofen. So I thought that was a good bridge to, and that way I didn't have to take as much of the bad stuff. So, yeah.
That's definitely.
I did not take ibuprofen. I did not take ibuprofen for maybe a year and a half, more than. And that night, the way I was hurting, I'm like, that's the only thing it will help me. Because that evening I had my Circoplex 95. I had the two of them, but it woke me up in the 1:30 with that pain. I was crying, so I had to take ibuprofen. I did. Okay.
Yeah, it may be worth though checking into the one that she's talking about as well, and just because it has something slightly different in it, to see if that is a good one, because it's a modulator of inflammation rather than a halt, and it's not going to have a harmful impact on the gut microbiome. But just, Katrin, know that ibuprofen is significantly better than methotrexate. So you didn't have to take ibuprofen for a year and a half because you were on methotrexate, which is completely suppressing all sensations. So anyhow, just keep that in your mind. We don't have to go back there. This is where we've been trying to get to for a really long time, to be able to heal your body now naturally, that your immune system is functioning the way that it's supposed to. You're gonna have the ups and downs and highs and lows, and then just hang in. But the fact of the matter is, your shoulder's better today. Your body has the ability to heal. So it's just, I know that fear kicks in of like, oh, it's back, and it's scary.
That was,
it's scary. So just know that that's a past experience, and that each time that it comes back and each time that you heal from it, you're going to gain confidence in the process of your body healing itself. And you don't necessarily have that right now. So anyhow, just don't drift back to fear. And all right.
I'm just afraid that the doctor told me if I don't take methotrexate, and you will have a heart problem, eye problem, or liver problem. I mean, those are inside that I can't do anything with, but the outside, I know it hurts.
Have you read the side effects of methotrexate? Okay. So a little counterproductive in terms of him telling you, if you don't take this, then it's going to cause this, this, and this. Yeah, but if I do take it, it's going to cause this, this, and this. So just keep reading those side effects and focus on that, and know that you're willing to do the work that most people aren't willing to do. And that's why he has to place the fear of medication in them, because their body, if you're not willing to make changes and do the hard work, then your body will continue down a path of destruction. But yours is not, because you've made the changes necessary. You know your underlying root cause, and you're healing from there. Okay? That's mindset. Stay focused on that mindset. Just hold that with you throughout this week and really, really work on that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And get that biocidin going. And you may have some die-off from the biocidin, and you may have some exacerbations. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I'm going to move on. Okay?
Okay.
But, hang on just 1 second, you all. I need to get my daughter on her. You didn't do that part. I did do that. Well, look. It might be that she's not on there yet. If at 1 o'clock you're still having trouble, come get me. Sorry. Okay, who is up next? Anybody need to go for it, Krista?
Sorry, I'm in and out because I've got professional development this week. So
no problem. How are you?
Good. I was really just kind of jumping in. I don't have a ton of questions.
Okay.
So I don't. I've just implemented the resveratrol. So I started taking that, and I've had it for about a week, maybe. And I have an appointment with my dermatologist next week on Monday. And then that's really kind of it. I've been just continuing the cold showers. I have not been able to do an ice bath yet. But I have done a cold shower every other morning. So
good. Okay. And obviously, I'm sure with just being on the resveratrol about a week, that no significant changes. Are you still feeling good in terms of energy? Like your benefits? Are you still feeling good for the most part? Just no changes in eyesight yet?
Yeah. Energy's been good, no changes in eyesight, and again I have these like little skin tags I feel like that are kind of popping up, so just trying to figure out how to a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did get that Immuaid, which was, I think I sent you a chat about it. I did get that, and so I've been using that for about a week as well.
Really good. Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 week on that. No change yet, though.
On some spots, like it seems to be doing better a little bit, but again, I'm kind of waiting to. I haven't seen like it's gone down immediately. So
got it. And then, so our plan is to be on the resveratrol for 1 month, and then go and get your growth hormone rechecked. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. So then that way we can make a comparison to see if that's the contributor of the skin tags. And then also we'll test that endothelial growth factor as well to see where it is in terms of angiogenesis. So
okay. I don't know what that means, but okay.
making new blood vessels.
Okay.
That's what it's responsible for. And so yours is kind of this inverse. Your growth hormone's high, the endothelial growth hormone is low. So the theory is that the growth hormone goes high to help push that endothelial growth factor up.
Okay.
In order to make more blood vessels.
So we need to make more blood vessels.
Need to make more blood vessels. Yeah, we're constantly making new blood vessels in the body to deliver oxygen, to the variety of different regions. But that's what, especially when there's oxidative stress involved. But your the retina and the eyes, they need a lot of vascularization, and so you're constantly making new blood vessels to go to those, but your endothelial
I'm not making as much.
You're not making as much, and so that can deplete the oxygen blood flow that goes to the eyes.
Okay.
So let's just keep tracking things, though. You're kind of somewhat in the same boat as Randy. Luckily with vision, it's a little more kind of in your face, but I do want you to just track. It's going to be hard to notice improvements because it's like when it's there, and it's, all that you can focus on. But just make sure that you are like doing your meditations, that you're not fixated on it from like a mindset perspective, but then you are being aware and tracking. That's the only thing. It's hard not to get fixated. And
I feel like I've come away from fixating on the floaters. So I don't feel like I'm thinking about those all the time. I do wonder if I have a few new ones. So that's been a little bit tricky because it's bringing up some old fears, but I've tried hard. I mean, not tried hard. I don't find myself thinking about them on a daily basis unless they just like come up. So, and if I do start thinking about it, I try to get my mind on something else. So.
Good. Okay. Perfect. Still doing your stress management?
Yeah, it's gotten a little hard because we're getting ready to go back to school, and
I can only imagine what teachers are going through right now.
Yeah, the teachers are freaking out. So
I'm freaking out as a parent, and I don't have to create. No, I'm freaking out as a parent because I feel like I don't know. We'll have a side conversation. I am actually interested in learning a little bit more because I've been seeking out alternative forms of school for the next year because I'm a little concerned about what the teachers are going to have to go through in order to push out a full online curriculum, but while having in class, I mean, like, when are you going to have the time to do all of that?
Yeah, it's a lot, and they are in the district that we're in, which I think you're in the same district. We're probably keeping our boys home. So there is a board of ed meeting tonight that we'll listen to.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I wanted to actually provide a statement, but the protocol for it, I'm like, did you see all of it? Okay. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. All right. Well,
if you want to have a side conversation, feel free to message me.
I will. Actually, I will because I'd love
and
that.
I can tell you the inside scoop of the teachers plus what they're able to do, what the curriculum will look like, so you can make an informed decision.
That'd be awesome. I was actually going to reach out to both of my kids' past teachers as well and find out some scoop and what her thoughts are in terms of my kids and what she feels like they would be able to handle. But anyhow, just do your best and know that the whole world is doing their best as well. I know that that's probably not easy sitting in being the teacher that's like, what is getting ready to happen? But you have come so far in terms of, I feel like the things that you've implemented to help keep you grounded and like you've learned a lot in terms of your mindset and your gut brain axis and all of that. So just prioritize you through the process and know that by prioritizing you, that you're going to be able to better serve everyone else when you put you first. And it seems so selfish, when you do start to do that, but just make certain things as non-negotiables. And you can only do what you can do, and don't put the pressure on yourself about anything else. So that would be what I would say for you. Let's continue with the resveratrol. We'll meet back up with Anne in about 3 weeks from now and get some blood drawn and see where you are with those 2 markers. And then that can help to guide us of where we feel like we need to go. Keep doing your exercising, your meditation, and and otherwise meal plan. Have you started reintroducing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much majority fruits and majority vegetables.
Whole food. Okay.
Whole foods. Yeah. I'm not eating a lot of processed at all. I have introduced grains back in a little bit.
Good. Okay.
So I'll do some rice and some quinoa and some things like that.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I haven't uploaded the modified Mediterranean meal plan for you, have I? I'm going to upload that into that's where I kind of want you to go with your eating. It's not going to be much different from what you're doing right now. I think it'll actually align quite nicely with how you eat, but it'll just help to give you more of a base. So that way it may help you to bring in more foods that you haven't even considered.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right. Okay,
Thanks.
and then I'm going to reach out to you and we're going to talk school.
Yeah, sounds good.
Or maybe you should reach out to me when you have spare time because I don't want to take up any of your time. So.
No, you're fine. Just reach out whenever and then I'll jump back in.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. Thanks.
All right, who's up next?
All right, I'll unmute myself.
Go for it, Grace.
What was that for?
I just had a thought for Michelle that I have the filter. I'll have to go into the kitchen and grab it. But my husband, the water filter, remember her asking about it several weeks ago. He could not find them for the life. So he ended up having to order more, which we had to have a replace them. But he's like, we're going to find a box of filters here in no time. But anyhow, I do have that for you. So that I had that thought just at that moment in time. I'll have to go get it. So how are you post vacation? You had a lot of reflecting time.
I did. And it was wonderful. It was, just very restorative and restful to be away. But it was, always getting away, I feel like gives you a little perspective shift. But this time it was really significantly more profound than I feel like even as the normal post vacation. So I guess that's my good news is I felt like I got some insight on some things that I think will help me, in this context of our functional medicine. I think what I'm struggling with the most is, headaches and fatigue. And we've been, working on healing my gut for a lot of reasons, but, those are kind of my biggest symptoms. And I think, just being away just really helped me see how my lifestyle is really dragging me down here, quite frankly, and not, it's really, working against my healing process. And, it's not news in the sense of like, we've been talking about lifestyle and stress management for months, and I've been working on it for a long time, even before that. But I just think, probably even some things that don't have anything to do with the quarantine, but the quarantine certainly has made everything, it's like a whole new ball game, and I need a whole new game strategy for, how to conduct my life on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis so that I can thrive. Because I think my insight was just a big clarity around how much I'm just in survival mode. I am just trying to get through the day every day. That's what I'm trying to do. And I don't think about tomorrow. I don't think about next week. I don't think about what I might do for fun because, a lot of things are restricted, and I've just gotten so stuck in that rut of my life is just right in front of me. And it's like, what do I have to do for work, from my kid, from my job, from my mother, my health, everything's just a massive to-do list. And all that's exacerbated by like the fact that I'm with my family all the time. And I'm an introvert, and I've always known it, but I just think my needs around my introversion are becoming more clear to me. It's like, I really need time alone. Like I need it. It's not optional, and I don't get it anymore. And, I'll go sit out in the front lawn and read a book, and it's nice, but it's just kind of not cutting it. So it's just been eye-opening. I just feel like, when I feel that kind of, I feel like it's closing in on me. I get in this habit of like, just whatever I need to I'll just do dinner and then I'll take a break, but then there's something else that needs to be done. And I'm on a treadmill, just on a treadmill.
So what are things that you are able to implement like right now, right here, right now, in order to start making changes? Is there anything at all? I know like outsourcing right now is a little challenging, but one thing that it's like everything is a balance in life, and we can only do so much. We only have so much time in the day. So if you can't cut out hours of work and you've been forced to work more hours because of the COVID situation, then what can you reach out and get help? And I know that it's like, most people don't have just bukus of money laying around. Oh, I can get this and I'll get this and I'll get this. But yet at the same rate, there are things that can be done to help you open up some time just for grace. And then you have to make sure that you prioritize your time for grace, and you're actually filling it in a way that's very meaningful for you. And we kind of had this discussion when Tana was on here, because she was like, I'm doing all this self-care and it's taken up all my time. Do you remember that conversation? And it's like, that's when self-care no longer becomes self-care.
Right.
So because it's a to-do list, it's not you're you're not getting joy and fulfillment out of it. And so that's the thing. It's like you said, we're restricted right now by COVID. So it does make everything a little challenging. But what do you feel like you could implement? So you can't add more to your day without taking some away.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe that's where you start, is by making your list of, what does your day entail? What could you possibly get help with,
Mm-hmm.
ask for help with? And then what could you, what can you let go of to add more things that fill you with joy?
Yep. Those are some really good questions. I don't have all the answers, but
you don't have to have the answers yet.
Yeah.
I just want you to kind of start to journal around that this week. And I just make a list, what builds me up, what depletes you. I will tell you, I was so resistant against a house cleaner because my house stays clean. But yet every single Sunday when I was cleaning my house, it was so irritating, and it took me half of a day. And that was a half of a day that I didn't get to do something that I really wanted to do. Yeah. But yet I'm like I like to save my money, and just the calculating up the cost, and then calculating up that cost per month, and then that cost per year, it would like stop me in my tracks every time. Then finally I just said, I'm letting go. It's only money, and it's going to provide me. And that was like honestly, it unloaded so much weight off of my weekly to-do list. So if you can find like one thing like that bogs you down, and get a little help. And there are so many different ways that you can get help, even from like high schoolers right now. They need jobs to do. What can they help you do,
Yeah. No, that's a good thought. I do need to do some more thinking around that. I mean, unfortunately, I already have a house cleaner, because I'm like the champion of like, it should be the last thing you cut from your budget is the house cleaner, the very last item, because the cost benefit is so crazy high. But so I've had that for a while, but I like the idea. And, I think for me, sometimes it's, because I don't think there's a lot of low-hanging fruit for me with stuff like that. I think it's some harder decisions that I need to make, and I've been trying to make, like, especially with my mom, because she needs me and relies on me, and I've tried to just challenge myself a little bit more around not being so immediately responsive to what she needs. And that sounds so terrible, but like, really, that's the mentality that was getting me in a bad place, was like, well, I can't not do that stuff for mom. And then there's other things you can't not do, like for your kid, and work is I can't not do. And the list got so long that it just became ridiculous. So I'm trying to kind of challenge some of those thoughts and belief systems I have around where I fit in on the really important stuff, not the dumb stuff that I can, maybe. So I'm trying to let go of some important stuff, which, I think is necessary. I just need to do it. And some of it is around too, just acting more for myself, and less like, oh, I should talk with my husband about such and such. It's like, honestly, at my age, and I have a job, and I can pay for things. It's not like I ask him permission for things. We're so far past that. But like, again, it's a lot of things I just think I need to take to another level of like, just do it. If this is good for me and it makes me happy and it brings me joy, boom, done. It's not going to be any more like, I just need to be like, grace. It's grace. It's like, so not my nature, but I'm like, I want to feel better, so I can be there more for all these other people. But I can't just do it from this depletion strategy that I seem to have got myself into in the last couple of months.
Right there. You just said it out loud. That's
what did I say?
The depletion. How did you become depleted? Because you've always prioritized everything
right
as important over your own self needs. And so that's where it's good. You're realizing you have to you are, I mean, you are in, you have significant adrenal dysfunction. You know, I mean, it's significant. So it's not something, and I know you've already done the research over. A vacation, unfortunately, doesn't cure it. You know,
Right.
it does, it takes a significant amount of work. And I had to do the same thing because mine were pretty much in the same shape as yours. I didn't have the headaches that went along with it, but it does take this balance. And I will tell you, stillness and meditation, stillness, presence, and meditation, because I was addicted to exercise. And I beat myself up because I couldn't get enough exercise in because I was always so busy. But whenever I saw the shape that my adrenals are in, well, that's not really a time to go push out a bunch more cortisol when your adrenals are already exhausted. So I feel like you're pretty intuitive and you know what your body needs. So keep listening to that, and you are going to have to, if you've already outsourced your low-lying fruit that are easy changes for some people to, you know, are easier changes.
Yep.
Then you got to have bigger conversations with yourself. And I think that's kind of where you are right now. So
it is. Yeah. It's good. It's good. I'm really actually feeling very hopeful about it because it was hard to see it when I was in it. And now I see it more clearly. And it's like leveling up. You got to level up. Thought I was doing pretty good, but I got to level up on my self-care. So so it's good. I have some ideas and things, and I gotta put it together and do it.
Yeah, I love that. Well, make your prana builder, prana depleter list. So prana is life force. Just make your little list on the day. Just write down your actions when you feel like, why am I doing this? Just write it, you know, prana depleter. The other thing that I do challenge introverts is that we kind of got into this phase where it's like, and it set introverts up for a situation of isolation, and you're not forced, you know what I'm saying, for that engagement other than with your family members. So I do challenge you to somewhat make sure that you are coming outside of that shell and engaging with other people aside from your family. Are you doing that?
I am definitely starting to do it more. Just, I'd say in the last maybe 3 weeks, we've got like a little small neighborhood group now that does like a weekly little cookout. And so, you know, we're safe and we're distanced, but it's helpful. And, you know, I've got some extended family things I'm going to be doing. And, you know, I think kind of on the friend front, it's been less so, but I just saw a friend of mine in the driveway last night. She was picking something up and we had a nice socially distanced chat. So like, I'm just trying to be more choosy about, you know, like, again, like you said, pick the friends that really sort of know me and understand me and can support me. And I'm not just I just don't have enough energy to give away to like, I got to be really careful about. It sounds snobby, but I don't mean it that way. It's
no, I'm the same. Yeah,
I have to really be choosy about who I spend time with, because it's a fine line between the prana building and the prana depleting. And honestly, you know, candidly, it's true even within my little family. I only have one kid, but there's 3 of us. And so every relationship is just super heightened, and the good parts of it are heightened, but the challenging parts are too. And that's another place where I'm trying to just give myself permission to just be more real about it. Whereas before I might just be like, oh, he didn't mean it that way, I'll just blow it off. Now I'm just kind of like, you know, when you said that, I felt this way. Like, I'm just going to step away. Like now I'm just like, you know what, I need to step away. I don't have to give a big explanation and tell them, oh, well, I'm just like, I'm out, see ya, too many words, gotta go by. I'm just getting really blunt with my husband and my son, and they're starting to get it. My husband's, I'm just like, too many words. I'm at my word limit. I don't want to talk to anybody. That includes you. You're part of anybody. Sorry, love you, bye. That's how I'm, you know.
I'm gonna start doing that with my kids. I do that with my daughter.
I've just got to get I'm just learning to be like, nope, I'm not apologizing for this. These are my needs. I'm taking them. Don't be offended. It's not about, it's like, it's me. It's not you. It's me. But
right.
It's true. So.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah. Just, you got some evaluating to do, and then you just slowly make the changes as you can. But trying to really balance, not adding too much expectation to your plate without taking some away.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice. Thank you.
All right, Grace.
Thanks.
You take care.
Thank you.
All right, who is up next?
I can go.
Go for it, Sarah. How are you?
I'm good. I have cartoons going in the background, so if you hear it, I'm just trying to, keep my toddler distracted until she loses it and I gotta go. But I had a question just because we just started yesterday, but I'm kind of just like going through everything and trying to like mentally prepare at this point, just because like I think I use food as comfort. When I was younger, it was kind of like when I was stressed, I didn't eat. And then after having a child, it's like after a stressful day, like nothing is more comforting than sitting down on my couch, like quietly putting Netflix on and just like shoving chocolate down my face until I fall asleep. So mentally preparing to kind of cut things out. The one question that I did have is on the Mediterranean diet, doesn't involve walnuts. But then on something else, it said that was good for the anti-inflammatory diet. So I just had a question.
So you are doing partial elimination, right? So you're doing gluten, sugar, dairy, and processed foods. And then what else did I put you on? Gosh, that was yesterday, but it seemed like so long ago. What else did I put you on?
What do you mean?
Hang on just 1 second. Let me pull it up because that will help. So I think I did do the modified Mediterranean with elimination of only dairy, gluten, sugar, processed foods.
Okay.
I think that's what you're striving for. Let me double check that is in fact what I recommended for you. Yeah, so with that kind of stuff, then yes, you can consume walnuts.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're not going to do like a full reset. I feel like that's way too much. You're nursing. Your body needs as much fats, carbs, proteins, and variety as we can get. Okay. So let's see. Yes, so we're doing just an elimination, and with the elimination, that may be a more strict elimination. That's probably what you're reading and why you're starting to get confused. But your elimination is just a modified. So literally sugar, gluten, dairy, processed foods.
Okay.
Everything else is fair game.
Okay, and of that, like soy is fine still, or did you want me to?
Soy is fine.
Okay.
Soy is fine.
Okay. And if anybody is like looking for variety and they're plant-based, I am trying to cut because we do a lot of like Beyond Meat and Impossible Burger, which I finally just like told myself like you just need to stop because it's made from plants and it's not good for you. And last night I actually took walnuts and I soaked them for about 10 minutes and then put them in my food processor with like nutritional yeast and cumin and soy sauce. And then I put it into a bean chili and it was actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice substitute. So if anybody's kind of looking for
a protein,
that's something that was nice and it was just in my house. So, but that's all I had. So. Thanks.
Awesome, Sarah. You're doing great. Hey, did you get the whole scripts?
Yes, I did.
Email.
I got it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Okay. And I got everything ordered for you yesterday, so it should be there. You should have received emails as well. All right, who's up next? Michelle, are you going to jump in there, or Sue?
Yep.
Okay.
I will.
Hang on, Michelle. Let me go get the filter real quick, okay?
Okay.
Okay, it's called Aqua Crest.
Aqua Crest.
Premium. And he told me that there was something that you had to make sure of. So it's certified to reduce 7 contaminants. Let's see, and it is NSF certified.
Okay.
All right, and if you have any trouble with that, just let me know.
Okay.
How are you?
Sounds good. Not bad.
Good.
So things are getting a little bit better with the digestive stuff.
Good.
I think my body's starting to acclimate to that GI, whatever it is. Yeah. A little bit better. And I have been given the okay to start back on some walking.
Yeah.
So just small distances right now, but baby steps, I'll take it. And
I think that's going to help you so much. Because you were doing so good in the beginning before I mean, not that you're not, you're still doing great. But what I'm saying is you were really, starting to kind of push yourself.
Right.
And when you can do that, not feel so just sedentary because you've had a setback with your, a knee injury, then it really, from a mindset perspective, helps. But it helps to balance hormones and different things to that nature too. So how have the hot flashes been this week?
They're about the same.
Still?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, they're still kind of bad. And that's what I was going to ask you. It's like, would there be a benefit for me to go back through the elimination part, the elimination diet again, and see because I don't think that there's anything, but I might just be overlooking it. So if I go back and do the elimination again, and because I had some gluten and maybe try to cut that back out, I feel like, then what I know of my body, that I don't see the effects of things that I do right away. That like I could do something and then it takes 4 to 5 days for me to really see it. So I'm just wondering if it's not some delayed, if this hasn't all been some delayed. Yeah.
I think it's definitely worth a try if you can, if you feel, I mean, for most of us, and it's been a couple months since you did the elimination. So I think it's certainly.
Right. And I only half-heartedly did it to begin with because I was confused about the 2 different diets. Like the one plan didn't pop up in my thing right away. So I was only doing the heart, the cardio, whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, plan first, and then try to move that into the regular elimination. But yeah, so I don't think I've really got full benefit from that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that then. Let's go back, and so you prepare mentally, but also with your list, what you're going to do. Let's do another 23-day strict elimination.
Okay.
So go back and review your elimination, and then the keto, or I'm sorry, it was it was cardiometabolic meal plan as well. Put that off to the side for now, and just focus on elimination. 23 days. And then as you start to add things back in, just be very slow and meticulous about the reintroduction.
Right. And I think I might do it like knowing that my body takes a little bit longer to respond to those, like maybe add something in, and then instead of just waiting a couple days, like wait a week.
Yeah.
Do the next thing, wait a week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that seems like a long time, but I think it'll be worth it in the end.
In the end, it does give you a lot of information. If you'll do one solid elimination with a very meticulous reintroduction, then you typically don't have to, then when you go to your active phase, it's like you don't have to pull everything out. Now, you know what I mean? That that you would to as a trial to see what are your symptoms, what foods are your symptoms responding to.
Right.
But yeah, you could do it instead of 4-day window for reintroduction. You reintroduce one food in an abundant amount over a 7-day window to just see what your response is.
Okay. And then is there any what I want to say, is there any suggested, because I don't remember reading that protocol for what you add back in first?
It's what you miss the most.
Okay.
Yes.
I know
it's
for
what
me,
you miss the most. Yes. So with cheese though, so you're not going to add all cheeses over the 7-day window. You're going to pick a style of cheese and go with that. So if you're using a soft cheese, that's what you would do. What I would recommend is start with a Parmesan, a hard, good quality Parmesan cheese. That's been the least reactive thing for me. And then slowly gravitate, like if you wanted to do feta, goat, you know, those are kind of similar. You can reintroduce that over a week's time. Then the soft cheeses are kind of the last, you know, so don't reintroduce all dairy, just reintroduce
in buckets,
in stages.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And let go of the things that you don't really care about.
Yeah. I can do that. Okay.
And, you know, let them in occasionally.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think let's do that, because obviously the hot flashes had subsided. They had gotten, not subsided, they had gotten significantly better.
Yep. I was only having about 4 a day, and then
your gut had done much better. And then we drifted back into the same kind of pattern. So let's tighten up the meal plan again. And you're now on the GI Microbe X. And let's continue with 1 more month of your supplements with your hot flashes and see how you're doing at the end of that 23-day window.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right, my dear. And then start walking.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
Don't overdo it, though.
I'm not.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want him to take it away again.
No. Yes. All right, Michelle.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Sue, you want to jump in there?
Sure. Thanks for the article. That article on that zirconia versus titanium, the implants, is really good.
I thought so too. There's actually more information than I assumed there would be. There was a site too. It's called Smart. What was that site called?
Yeah, something to do a test on the level. I was trying to get back to it. I'll find it again. But what I can do is I can have, because this will be my 8th implant, dental implant. So I'm starting to get really concerned about the level of titanium and where it is. It's the canine tooth. Zirconia isn't strong enough to support that area. I think if it was like a real, like a more cosmetic, one of the teeth that don't take a lot of biting force. But I'll have to talk to the doctor, the prosthodontist, about it. But I can have a a test. I saw it somewhere. It was a link from that article. I have to get back. I have to find it again. But I can test, you can test the level of titanium in your bloodstream. So, because I guess they use titanium for the metal that goes in for fractures and stuff, for bones and stuff as well.
And prostheses.
And so, yeah. So I'll definitely do that. And I'll work on that moon salutation. I think this is an old problem rearing its head from when I used to work on computers all the time. It runs right below my shoulder blade on the left-hand side. So I think, you know, I've been reluctant to go back for massage. I'm still reluctant to go back for a massage. That really helped it though. On a
why are you reluctant? Because of COVID?
Because of the virus. Yeah. Because of COVID.
I'll tell you, we at the Center for Holistic Healing, it's safer now than it's ever been.
Okay, so go ahead and
I mean, we, you know, Casey's masked. We provide masks for our guests. There's only one person in there at a time. She's wearing gloves. The customer wears gloves. And then we spray everything down that any person touches in between each session. And then we wave the next person in. So, I mean, there's literally like, as long as they're practicing in that way, don't be scared of it.
Okay. I'll definitely send her a text and tell her that, ask her what the protocols are and for this, you know, disinfecting and everything. And I'll definitely go back. We can work that out. It comes from, well, I've been doing a lot of computer work. I've been doing, you know, stuff on the computer, but also it's a posture thing that if I got to make sure I keep, you know, it
core activated. Yeah.
And it's the sensitive. I had it like for 15 years off and on. So
what about your professional yoga therapist? Does she do manual therapy?
You know, I didn't think of her
because it sounds to me like you're rotated through your rib cage, and then that's like, ooh, it's nagging. The moon salutation will help, but she will actually be able to do more than just a muscular massage. She would actually be able to do joint manipulation, gentle, to get you back in alignment.
All right, I'll send her.
I would go the route of integrative PT.
Okay.
Rather than just massage.
Okay.
Because if you're rotated, it'll only feel good for a little bit, but it's not going to help to get you back into alignment. Whereas physical therapist would be able to do both.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. I didn't even think of that. I just thought about the massage. That's wonderful. Perfect. Okay, I'm good. That's everything. Everything else is, you know, I'm doing pretty good, you know.
Okay, I'm saying prayers for you. I know you're going through some stuff right now, so I am praying for you and your family and your grandkids.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Estelle, do you have any questions?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Now that those labs did not come back, I was just waiting for it.
And so I just hope they were all good by the time they got there. I mean, they were so delayed.
I am confident that you did a really good job at keeping them preserved and, you know, in the fridge and all of that. So
yeah. Okay, that's good. So I do have a couple of questions. I'm having a challenge getting all the supplements in.
Okay.
Because of ones that need to be taken on an empty stomach. the OptiFiber, and the NAC and the Biocidin all need to be taken on empty stomach. Correct?
NAC doesn't have to be taken on an empty stomach. So you can take NAC with food. So the Biocidin and the OptiFiber Lean, those can be taken first thing in the morning.
So with my levothyroxine?
With levothyroxine, so take your levothyroxine as soon as you wake up.
I do.
That one's temperamental. So then you wait.
I get that one. Yeah.
Then you wait 30 minutes, and then you do your OptiFiber and your. That's how I space mine out. Is that I do.
So I can take them together though. The Biocidin and the OptiFiber can be taken together.
Yes.
Okay, good. I was waiting a good half hour, 45 minutes between each one.
Oh, and then you're starving.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that will help.
Really, the levothyroxine is the only one that throws a bit of a wrench in there, and you should do that first thing, so that way nothing interacts. And then 30 minutes, even though the OptiFiber Lean should not interact with the levothyroxine, but they do say, so that is just such a sensitive medication. You want to make sure that it absorbs fully. And then you do the OptiFiber and the Biocidin all at the same time.
Okay, that will help. That will help. So on the other, let's see, on the elimination diet, I heard somebody talking here today about rice being a grain, and it is in the diet. So I have eaten rice a couple of times. Is that good? That's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Especially
and then
for thyroid conditions, for thyroid conditions, you got to have your carbs. And so if you do a full reset, you're just doing elimination, correct? Okay, so some people will do a full reset. And for you, I think that we just started with elimination. But yes, you need some grains are not necessarily a bad thing. Now, once we have your lab results back, we're going to be able to see what's called PUFA metabolism, and that's going to give us a greater deal of insight. That's polyunsaturated fatty acids, the omega-3s and omega-6s. It's going to give us a greater deal of insight into what is a contributing force behind your autoimmune condition. Okay. And then at that point, we can determine where you need to be in terms of your level of grains and carbs.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit of fruit on that too. I noticed like some blueberries, and there's a smoothie that has just a few chunks of pineapple in it. So I'm following all the recipes.
Do that.
That's good. Good.
You're doing perfect.
And it's day 14. It's day 14. I've lost some weight.
Okay.
And I feel less inflammation going on overall. But I did have a blood test this week because, actually it was the end of last week, or it was last week, and I just barely started though, so maybe that's why the inflammation markers were still up there. But yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it will take. And you hadn't taken your supplements yet either. Is that correct?
I didn't start the supplements till Friday.
Yes. So those are going to help to drive those numbers down too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So everything's going well. The 14 days has flown by. And
yay. Well, because you were so preoccupied with DHL. that was what, 10 days?
That was 8 to 10 days of trying to get.
It was 8 to 10 days.
It was.
That was
there was a weekend in there that I didn't worry about it, but yeah, it was quite the ordeal. My word.
That was quite the ordeal. So at least that occupied. That's again the silver lining that occupied your time. You can think about all the food restrictions.
Right. I didn't have time to think about that. I just ate what was on the next day.
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah, absolutely. So that is perfect, and you just keep doing what you're doing. Now, I would expect numbers to go down by the 2-month mark in terms of blood work and inflammatory markers. Sometimes for some people it takes a little bit longer, but usually at the 2-month mark is when you'll start to see, you're going to feel significantly better at the 2-month mark, but that's usually when it'll really start to show up in labs.
Okay, all right. So now, do you do any of this retesting, or do I test for inflammation markers?
So I will give you, those are things that are covered in the realm of insurance. So what I do is anytime that someone's going back to the doctor, maybe they just want to go and recheck what their levels are, is what the way that we track progress is through what's called the MSQ. You filled it out at the start, and we'll track your based on symptom presentation, okay, how your body feels. But then when you graduate, or if you do blood work before, what I do is I'll give you a list of what I would recommend that the doctor run based on your genetics and based on your underlying root cause to see from a blood perspective how we're doing. So I give you all of that information, and then that way. There are some times when, like Cameron, who was on here, we do have to do she's opting for a repeat test. That occasionally happens, but not very often. Usually we track, yeah, no, I'm like, we don't ever want to go back to Pasco. It's Pasco, right? Yeah, we never want to deal with DHL and Pasco ever again. But anyhow, that's rare.
So one last question on that then. So I'm on low dose naltrexone, which I've been on for about 4 or 5 years. That seems to really keep the RA symptoms down until I get a cold or something that is autoimmune related. And then I have a flare up. But is one of my goals to get off of that too, or will I stay on that?
It's going to depend on what we see in terms of your genetics. So yes, ideally, as long as you don't have like really severe genetics for autoimmunity, then once we heal the underlying root cause, then you'll be able to come off. Like what I can tell you is low dose naltrexone was a great help in the very beginning. Now, if I were to take it, I can't tell any difference on off, nothing changes. Okay. Right. So, but that's because I healed my underlying root cause first. So that's what we'll have to do is heal from that, wean it, and then see, are you able to manage without it?
Okay.
Because I don't know about you, is yours like, it was ridiculously expensive, right?
Yeah, it is. It's expensive.
Crazy. Yeah.
I think it's about $50 a month, about 50 to 60.
Yeah. I thought that was an expensive one. But anyhow, so yes, I think at this point, whenever I see exactly what the driving force is behind your symptoms, then I'll be able to give you more information on that.
Good. And then those lab results will be back like
they'll start to come in, and some of them is a turnaround time of roughly 2 weeks, and then some are 3 to 4. But
you put those on the living or the one
healthy,
not healthy, but the other, you put them on healthy.
I do put them on healthy. Yes, everything now moving forward will all be on healthy. So we won't use Living Matrix anymore. That was just for the intake process. So now, so once I get back your information, you'll have a folder that says labs, and then I'll put all the lab results in there, and then I'll even put my notes that I take over the labs whenever I'm doing your review. I take massive amounts of notes, and so you'll even get a copy of that. So that way you can see my reasoning behind things. It will all be there.
Okay, great.
All right.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Jody. I think she's the only one that hasn't gone. How are you?
Hey, I had a rough night. I don't know why, like the last couple days, my mind's been kind of just racing. Like, I don't know, I just can't go to sleep, and it's not that I'm really thinking about anything specific. I just am wide awake. And yesterday I didn't exercise, so I wonder if that made it 10 times worse, because the day before I exercised twice. But I don't know, I was just up all night. I tried to read, I tried to lay there and breathe and meditate, and it was like every which way I moved, my neck felt worse, and throughout the night it just got worse. And right now, my son doesn't have an AC in his room, so he's been sleeping in my bed, and I couldn't even fit my pillow on the bed. So it was like, I'm like, we have to get him an AC today.
Today.
I slept
Priority.
from 8 to 9 in the morning, and it was just horrible. I got up, I felt like my vision was blurry. I couldn't step on my right foot without severe pain. Like, just, I'm exhausted today. And I don't know, I don't know.
Okay, so a few things that I want to ask about is, so tell me, part of it could be the exercise, the other part is likely your son being in the bed with you, so there are lots of things there. The neck pain will be also a contributor, but, tell me about, first of all, what time are you laying down to go to sleep?
So lately, it's been really late, like 11, 12 o'clock.
That right there is the problem. So because of our circadian rhythm, what's going to happen if you're not asleep by 11 o'clock, you're going to get your second wind. And what that means is that you're not going to get into a deep REM sleep until 3 o'clock in the morning if you're not asleep before 11. So that is really, really important in terms of sleep hygiene, is to make sure. So ideally what you're going to do is cut your screen time, because that's going to absorb glutathione. That blue light is going to also affect your circadian rhythm. So if you're just one of those people that you're like, oh, I love to just like watch, just kind of veg out on some TV at night, and then you need to get some blue blocker glasses off of Amazon. You can get
I got
those.
some, but and I was actually wearing them for a while, but I like to read at night, and I felt like it was making my vision blurry and giving headaches. So I don't know if
were you reading on your electronic, or were you reading a book? Okay. I would not wear them. Only wear them in the event that you're like watching TV, but I probably wouldn't wear them to read. Ideally, since you already love to read before bed, that's what I would prefer you to do. So cut your screen time. Really try to be diligent about this, because sleep has always kind of been an issue for you anyhow. So I want you to try to dedicate the rest of your week to really being diligent with your sleep hygiene. So cut your screen time at 8 o'clock. Go and maybe soak, and whenever you take a bath, soak in your tub. You don't get to use Epsom right now, but anyhow, you can still use essential oils, or light a candle that's not toxic. Just to try and maybe read in the bathtub, and just start to like settle your body. Even doing some deep breathing, listening to a meditation. It doesn't even have to be a guided meditation. It can just be peaceful, relaxing music, and you're working on breath work and trying to still your mind. Okay. And then from there, then go to your bedroom. You can do a gentle moon salutation, which is what I had sent Sue a link to, because she was struggling with some back stuff. So you, and I sent that to you. Did I send that to you? The Gentle Moon? That would actually be, you would be real gentle with your neck, but I mean, that would maybe be helpful for you to do. Just, I mean, anytime that my neck flares up, I'll do a couple rounds in the morning first thing to just loosen things up, a couple rounds at night before you go to bed. Climb in bed, use your heating pad, you know, set yourself up for success. Try to be lights out 10 o'clock and just be diligent about that. Get your son out of your bed.
Yes.
Get your son out of your bed. So it's really important. It's, I mean, it's, there's nothing that disrupts sleep more than, get him out of the bed.
That bad habit from like when he was real little, like I wake up and check on him every minute because he's right there. And if he moves, like, and then I cover him up, it's just too much. It's just gotta stop.
Yes.
So I'm going to pick up the AC bracket because we have an AC. We just didn't have a bracket for his window today.
Okay, good. So that's what I want. I really do want you to like be non-negotiable about those things, and maybe even turn it over to your boyfriend, right? Your boyfriend, he's on night duty. He takes care of your son. Let him put him to bed. You can dedicate from 8 o'clock until 10 is time for Jody. Okay.
Well, that's hard for me because he goes to sleep at like 7.
Oh, okay.
So, because he gets up at 4. So I'm kind of like, because I'm home, I've been the only one on night duty. So.
What time does your son go to bed?
He goes to bed by 8. He's reading, but lately, ever since this homeschooling started, everything got later and later and later, and now it's like I gotta go backwards. But we've been eating late. Like we eat dinner at like 7:30. I just have to like rewind the time somehow.
You just need to. You're gonna have, so time management is what I'm hearing here. So make sure that you are staying on as much of a schedule as you can. Have him down and in bed by, settled by 8 o'clock. He can do, his own thing in his bed. Maybe that's him. How old is he?
He's 8.
Okay, so he can read his own books, and while you're soaking in the tub, and then you go in, lights out, kiss him goodnight, and then you go get in bed. But that's what you're going to have to do. When you make that shift, and again, when it becomes a non-negotiable shift, your whole day is going to flow so much smoother. You're not waking up feeling like it's, that kind of cycle that you get into. So let's start that this week and really stay kind of true to that.
Okay. The other things I wanted to ask you about was we didn't really get to talk too much about the diet, and I didn't know if I should be reintroducing anything at all or staying the way I am.
Yeah, so I uploaded, did you see the low sulfur diet that I uploaded into your document folder? So I did upload that. What I'd like for you to do is take a look at that diet, okay? I don't really want you reintroducing too much at this point because we only really eliminated the really bad things that don't belong in the diet to begin with. Okay. So if there is something that doesn't fall on that, so you're going to have to make somewhat of a switch based on your underlying root cause. So we have to go for you high carbs, low sulfur. And so that's going to require some shifts, but I want you to read through the low sulfur diet first. And then after you've read through that, ask me any questions that you may have just bring it to chat and I'll be able to answer. But I mean, I would love for gluten, dairy, because especially while we're continuing to fight this dysbiosis that you have, and because it is pretty significant, I want to make sure that we're not adding anything back that's inflammatory. It's going to be real hard for you to tell right now what's a food, what is a food symptom versus what's just like a die-off symptom. So let's get started on the GI Microbe X, and you're doing the Pepto-Bismol, and I can't even believe I'm saying that out loud, but anyhow, that's what you're doing. And then let's gravitate to low sulfur. And then in probably in about 2 to 3 weeks, based on how the gut's doing, then we'll start to reintroduce.
Okay.
Can you hang with it?
Carb ideas on that low sulfur. I don't, like, I notice if I don't have carbs, like today I just had egg and then I had some fish sticks and a smoothie, and I haven't had any carbs, and I feel like low blood sugar out of it. So
carbs as in fruits. I want you to think of plant-based carbs and not necessarily pasta and bread carbs. Okay, so plant-based carbs are more things that have a higher level, like the glycemic index for you is okay. Your starches are okay. So your potatoes, your sweet potatoes, your root vegetables, those are all going to give you a greater concentration of complex carbohydrates. And so that's what your body needs based on your dysbiosis.
So should I try to have like a little bit of potatoes, like with each meal or something like that?
You can, switch it up. Like carrots are a good option. Your potatoes, doing the variety of potatoes. Any kind of fruit are going to be high in carbs. But there are some fruits that are a little bit higher than others. So that's kind of what you want to do.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Like for instance, with your breakfast this morning, what I would have done is, I would always just anytime that you make potatoes, just make extra, and then that way you can slice some for breakfast, and maybe if you had like a sweet potato, put a little egg on there, and different things to that nature.
Okay. Okay.
But take a look at that low sulfur diet. It's pretty, there's a lot of information there with it. So read through that and then start to implement that, and let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. On like the weekend or something, like I know I'm not supposed to have anything inflammatory, but I was wondering, is there any alcohol that is like not the worst if I'm feeling a little better?
So for you, wine is obviously not an option right now. There are, like, if you wanted to do, just make it really clean, so one thing that I'll do occasionally is I'll juice my own, like either a grapefruit or something like that, and you can just make sure that you use like a clear gluten-free liquor. Make sure that that is an option with a squeeze of lime in it. Trulies or White Claws and different things like that. Trulies have less carbs, I think, than White Claws. I don't really know. Anyhow, those are kind of hit or miss. I think that they have other additives, even though they say it's like super clean.
Yeah.
You can try, just make sure that you're minimizing. But I would say most likely to do some type of kind of cocktail with a clear, clear organic alcohol, and then with a fruit juice, like an organic fruit juice, and then obviously limit your quantity.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is tequila bad?
You would have to, as long as it's not bad, as long as you get a clean version of tequila. It's not something that I've ever really drank that much of, but I know that there are cleaner versions. So it will take a little research on your part to make sure that, like, the way that it's distilled, the products that they're using are clean. And as long as that's the case, then that would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to have some options because my boyfriend was on vacation last week and he's like having drinks and I'm like,
I'm so boring. Here's my I got my nuts. Yeah. Well, just limit it, but yeah, absolutely. You could certainly have, a drink or two.
Okay.
On occasion.
Okay. My last thing is I did not find the supplement list that you went over yesterday. If you could possibly upload it.
Yeah, let me just double check. I thought that I uploaded everything for you. Let me look. But yeah, I certainly will do that.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me just make sure that it's not in there. Yeah, it's in there. So there's a supplement folder, and you'll find it. So if you go to Documents, scroll down to Supplement Recommendations, and then it's in there. It's labeled July 12th.
Oh, okay. I saw June next to it, so I thought.
Gosh. Did I mess it up? No. Okay.
Right, but the folder has June next to it.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
It was the old one. Okay.
Yep. That's
right,
where it is. You're welcome. All right, everyone. It was a great call, and you all do have a fantastic week. Stay safe, keep working, keep doing all the good work that you're doing, and I'll see you guys back next Tuesday.
Okay, bye.
See ya.